how are you feeling, and how optimistic are you that you're going to play tomorrow?
Feeling great. Had a good rehab week. The guys took care of business on the trip, so that was great to see the energy coming back. I'm happy to have practiced the last couple of days, see how I feel after these last two sessions. I'm pretty optimistic, though.
What was like your day-to-day like while you were here and the team was on the road?
A lot of long days. We always talk about rehab. It's monotonous. It's especially when the team is away. You got to have some really good playlists going for the 4 to 6 hours you're in here by yourself with Rick and Dave Taylor putting in some good work. So it was long days, but you're building to try to get back out there. He may or may not have been on some of those for sure.
What was the difference between yesterday's practice and today's practice? Was there any improvement or any sort of progress you felt like you made just between these last two practice sessions?
Personally,
Yeah.
No, I was just getting more live action, getting some bumps, some competition out there. You can run, get back in shape, get shots up, and do all that with no defense. And then you remember how fast the game is, how athletic certain guys are, driving lanes, passing lanes. Literally a week, you have to remind yourself of that. So that was good to get out there and get some reps before you get back out there on the court.
Steph, where did it get you? Where was your was it kind of mid thigh? I mean, is it a hard thing to heal? Was it a lot of pain? I mean, I saw you limping last time I saw you, still kind of with a limp. Was it a pain? Pretty
Yeah, it was
painful?
a contusion that turned into or combined with a muscle strain. They call it the VMO towards the bottom of your quad. So the hardest part is getting full range of motion back, which I pretty much only got back like 3-4 days ago. Okay. But right now it's like a pain tolerance thing and just getting the strength back in it. But all the work that you put in terms of like muscle, and not to be too nerdy, but like muscle endurance and getting everything firing around the whole chain and all that type of stuff. That's what the work has been the last week. And then as I got full range of motion back, then I can get back out on the floor pretty quickly and get back to, moving normally.
And, like, to get full range of motion back, is it leg extension kind of things? And I mean, you're dealing with pain too. So.
I see you with a knee brace on, so I'm like, you getting some homework. She's, yeah. I know. I might have to share my rehab routine with you.
I'm always injured, Steph. But
get that brace off of you. No. But yeah, a lot of that just basic extensions and load and all that type of stuff so that you can be strong in range. And then you got to bulletproof the rest of your body, too, while you're out.
And have you had this exact thing before? I mean, you've had some injuries over the years, but I don't remember this exact one.
I've had plenty of contusions. If you play basketball long enough, you're going to have plenty of those, but I've never had a muscle strain like that where it kind of affects that range of motion as well.
Thank you, sir.
So the team held down the fort without you, maybe found some sort of identity, some momentum. How do you sort of see things coming together when you are able to return?
The idea of just playing good basketball, making simple plays, getting organized offensively, that's what I saw the last 3 games was even after those 2 rough, first quarters we had in Philly and Cleveland, it was getting the ball moving, trying to create advantages where guys were attacking closeouts, taking advantage of spacing. It seemed like we were just a little bit more organized, even though there weren't like necessarily play calls. It was if you're open, shoot it. If you have a driving angle, take it, get off of it. The ball just had energy, and so I know, when I'm out there, I try to create the same type of actions. And then you just want guys playing with confidence, and that was what it ended up being like in Chicago. It was great to see everybody felt involved, everybody was playing, reading the game and taking the shots that you're supposed to take. So nothing should change when I'm out there.
What did you think about the emergence of Pat Spencer on the road trip?
It's amazing to watch. Like we've seen it over the summers practice. And, you know, when he's been out there in short spurts, like he just has a presence about him that he just knows the game. Plays with 120% of confidence every time he's out there, and as a kind of a playmaker role, it was cool to see him kind of, you know, adapt to what we needed pretty much overnight. And I think it'll only help us as we keep moving forward. I know when I'm out there to be able to play off the ball with, you know, him, you know, initiating, taking advantage of the space and all that type of stuff, it should be pretty seamless. So I'm happy for him. Obviously, he puts the work in, and again, he's been waiting for his time, and it's cool to see him take advantage of it.
I know, like, this is a two-way player. I mean, what do you think about the juice he kind of injected into the team as well, like the competitive spirit, because he had to have that, but sort of showing that fight in these games when you guys needed some wins on the road?
Yeah, it's contagious. We try to play with joy. I know I do. I think me and him are competing for like crazy celebrations and stuff. It's a contagious vibe when you have a guy out there that's showing that emotion, like, and it's natural, it's organic, it's authentic, it's who he is. I remember the first day I played a pickup with him, he was talking trash with me like 3 years ago, and right before training camp. So it's nothing new. It's just great for the world to see it.
And said, "I'm that MFer in a game."
I think I said this is my something house one time, but it's probably as close as I got. Yeah, that was clean though. That was.
What'd you take away from your playing with DeAnthony for those 6 games last year, and what are you looking forward to about pairing up with him again now that he's back?
Just a guy that understands what this level is all about, and he has a way of making the game very simple. He's a good shooter, knockdown. When he's open, he can put the ball on the floor, play pick and roll, create on the backside, and then obviously defensively, we know what he does, disrupting the ball. It's just a prototypical like NBA 2 guard that can do a little bit of everything, and so we saw it last year. We were kind of hitting strides. I remember we played, I think it was like the OKC, Dallas, that little stretch last year where tough games, and he made his presence felt. And then, unfortunately, it ended. But he picked up right where he left off in Philly. It was great to see. You know, another guy that I'm talking about my 2-week rehab. He was in the gym every day for a whole year trying to get back. So I'm glad he's seeing the payoff for the work that he's put in.
Steph, you kind of touched on it a couple minutes ago, but you guys have all talked about finding the rhythm, finding a rotation consistently. How far do you think you guys are now from that?
I'm going to be completely honest with you, Nick. Did not hear a word you said because of your hat, and I don't know if you wore that on purpose to this NFC South battle.
Rivals.
I just don't like
Charlotte
it.
and Orlando.
I'm
right?
sorry. I'm hoping that y'all don't have a good night tonight so that we can, take claim of the NFC South lead and know we got 2 good games coming up, week 6, next week and 2 weeks later. Sorry, I'm in football mode. What was the question?
Baker and Bryce. I mean, come on.
Bryce all day. Sorry, what was your question?
All you guys have talked about all year is the finding the identity but finding the rhythm. It'll come.
Yeah.
Watch what happened the last couple of weeks. How close do you think you all are from finally finding the consistent rhythm you've been searching for?
I mean, we'll see. I think the goal and the challenge is to maintain that focus on continue to get better even when things don't go your way, the resiliency that a team shows over 82. Nobody's happy with our record. Nobody's feeling like, we're a day away from being the best team in the league, but we also know, like, the journey ahead is right there for us. And for us to bounce back the way we did from the Philly game And in that road trip, the way that, they did, that speaks volumes to, I guess, mentally where we are and how long can you sustain it. So our job is to just stay in the moment and enjoy the challenge of trying to become a good team, because we're not yet, but we are starting to feel what it takes. And then the biggest challenge is also with so many guys that coach can throw out there, how do you stay ready? How do you stay in rhythm? How do you take advantage of your minutes, no matter how, when you're out there, how long you're out there? I feel like we've been talking about that for a couple of years, where we're deep, but we also are trying to figure out how to put that together on a night-to-night basis. So, again, optimistic, but you don't want to just talk it. You got to go do it.
Hello, Stephen. Yesterday's Steve coach said the young player needed to figure out who they are. So I was wondering, how long did that process you take when you were young, and how hard it was?
I think the hardest part is just every year, actually probably as a young guy, multiple times a year, your role can change kind of on the fly, and how do you adapt while maintaining your idea of who you are as a player. And also what's going to keep you around in this league and what you can do to help a team win, that then you'll get rewarded for that as you go through. So for me, it was my rookie year was trying to plug into a team that really didn't have an identity, then I was really only the last half of the year was just focused on playing. Then that next year is like, how do you continue to make winning plays, especially down the stretch, because I didn't get to play much in fourth quarter is my second year, and then it was continuing to evolve from there. So, like, everybody's journey is a little different, but that balance of who do you think you are as a player versus what does the team need you to do in any given moment throughout a year, and then also what is going to help that team win / like, where's the league going and what kind of role can you establish? Like, all those things you have to kind of assess on a daily basis. So it's a difficult challenge for everybody, but everybody's journey is a little different.
You mentioned earlier just with everyone making the most of their minutes, but now with Pat, Brandon, Moses, Buddy, Seth, Gary, probably forgetting guys, but how do you view, like, the competition for minutes among the guards?
Yes, it's stacked, and everybody does it a little differently. But within the offense and the defense, the biggest part is just playing hard and playing confident. I keep saying that, but it is very simple mindset, but hard to do. So thankfully, we have a lot of great personalities that are well equipped to handle whether it goes your way or not on any given day, because we're all pretty together. I think we all understand it's not you're going at anybody, but the competition is healthy for a team to figure out, how to win at the highest level. So most of those guys have been in that position throughout their careers anyway, so it's kind of a continuation of their stories.
Jimmy has described you as playing with organized chaos offensively. What do you think he means by that, and is it difficult, you think, to play off of your gravity, or like a learning curve for playing off your gravity?
The organized chaos is, I play fast. I can play on the ball, off the ball, and the line is usually the play starts once I get off of it, because I'm either, running out the other side of the court, coming off a screen, trying to create attention no matter where I am on the floor. I don't think it's hard to play. It's just an adjustment of, like, the reads that you need to make and how fast they happen. But the organized part of it is a big deal, because there are certain patterns that you see more often than others, and in the sense of where I'm at, where the ball is at, and what options you have, whether you're going to screen, whether you're going to cut, whether you're going to stay spaced to shoot, whatever the case is. Reps help, and being in that situation where you get to see the pictures is a little bit easier, but it's a fun way to play, I feel like, because you don't really know who's going to get it on either possession. The ball usually finds the open guy.
When you watched your your team go into Cleveland, which has handled you guys pretty well the last couple of years, go into Cleveland without you, without Draymond, without Jimmy, without Al, and come out with a W. What was your takeaway from that game and what you saw?
A competitive spirit and guys that really just they care about the game and they understand that they belong in this league and they're supposed to be able to help, win games like that. And it was especially how the game started. Like we had was it 12 points at the end of the game? I mean, in the first quarter, and to be able to stick with it. It also talks about our defense, keeping that team under 100, and we've been able to do that pretty consistently, no matter who's been out there on the floor. So that's been great to see. But whether shots go in or not, it's just about playing hard, moving on to the next play, and guys playing with confidence. I'm gonna keep saying it. That's a big part of sustaining like high-level basketball, playing with confidence no matter how the game's going.
How difficult is the challenge of sustaining your word? Those last two games and how they went, the way you closed out the games in Cleveland and then the way you blew away the Bulls.
Yeah, I think you would love to have come back 3-0 on that trip, and I talked to a lot of guys who were there who felt, that disappointment at the end of the Philly game. I do like the order that it happened, like that game that didn't go our way, and then to have two bounce-back wins like that versus the opposite, where you come home after a tough down-to-the-wire win. Like, morale's pretty high, and it's great to see the guys feel what it's like to go out and have an idea of how you're supposed to execute and then actually do it. That's another contagious feeling throughout a long 82-game season.
Thanks. I was wondering if we can go back to those comments from Steve Kerr where he said young players have to figure out who they are as players. And I'm curious to get your take about Jonathan Kaminga's situation right now, because the word consistency keeps coming up for him. So when a young player is trying to find out who he is, what's his individual responsibility to grow, whether it's time after practice or doing the right things in the off season? And alongside that, what's a team's responsibility to help a player develop and fit?
It's a partnership for sure. Especially, with the situation we have where, it's been the same coach, the same system, and it's just a matter of trying to ask the right questions, be honest with yourself both ways around, are you doing things that's the message is being heard, and are you actually out there on the court trying to do the right things? And really, the hardest part is whether it's going well or whether it's not losing your spirit. That's been JK's challenge as a young player is things change so quickly, and there's all these declarations about what or who he is as a player, does he fit, and all that type of stuff. And we still have high hopes that, he'll impact our team this year, but it's just an idea you can't lose your spirit if things aren't going your way because, you're a game or two away from it coming right back to you. And if you've checked out or if you're still not, engaged in the learning process, then you might miss your moment on the back end. So it is a back and forth, and it's the responsibility of both sides. And then, as a team, it's our job to support him because we know he's a great dude, very talented player, and we still, again, have belief that he can help us.